Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new day and a new superhero deep dive. I, as always, am your host, Jason, and I have a very good episode planned for you today. Before I get into it, let me get my disclaimers out of the way so we don't have to worry about that. The information is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. As always, if you guys ever want to catch me on Twitter or Instagram, you can using Super Deep Dive, and I'll use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. You can catch me every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the day on Outworld Fleet Radio, and their website is www.un-con-ventional.com/radio. You can catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive, where I post videos every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. For the podcast, I do a miscellaneous video every Friday, and I do shorts throughout the week, where it's got superhero memes and stuff. So I encourage you to check it out. Give it a like, subscribe, comment, notification, whatever junk they do to get through the algorithm and make it just slightly more popular. Because I don't need a big thing, just enough. And if you guys ever want to email me, please feel free to, with any kind of critiques, questions, fun facts, requests for future episodes, all that good stuff, at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com. Okay, so this has been kind of a crazy week for me because we have holidays coming up and just trying to get everything coordinated for that, and then my day job is being amazing and hectic at the same time. So yeah, that's all I'm really allowed to say about that. But this week I am going to talk about Strong Guy. I know you're like, what a crappy name, and there's a reason for that, because it's literally a crappy name. But this is the guy from X Factor. He's huge, super strong. He's got little bottle cap glasses, so all that good stuff. All right. His real name is Guido Carosella. Now, Strong Guy first appears in New Mutants number 29 as Leela Cheney's bodyguard, known only as Guido. The character then joins X Factor in issue number 71 in the series of the same name, and is first called Strong Guy in X Factor number 72. Guido's struggles with picking a codename are used for comic effect in the story, and the X Factor writer Peter David admitted that in real life, he had difficulty coming up with a decent codename for the character. So they were just like, just call him Strong Guy, and we're gonna let him use it as humor. Okay, but he was born in Rhinebeck, New York, to working class Italian parents, and Guido Carosella gained a fortune in a settlement when his parents were killed by falling space debris. Because why not? In the world of superheroes, you could, bystanders are collateral damage in a lot of ways. They can be hurt by falling building debris, anything like that. This one came from space. So, just to give it a special flair. Alright, skinny and shy, Guido's mutant powers were triggered in childhood when an incident with schoolyard bullies and being hit by a bus ended in his body becoming disproportionately large and over-muscled, separating the already withdrawn boy even further from his peers. So as he was getting picked on, and then he got hit by a bus. Cause luck is just running through his veins. His parents get hit by space debris, he gets hit by a bus, but when he gets hit by a bus, the force causes his muscles to grow insane as a reaction to it. So it's kind of crazy, right? But he had the love and support of his aunt and uncle, who took him in after his parents' deaths. Now, Guido coped with his emotional and physical pain caused by his mutation by developing an outgoing public face, rarely letting even those close to him see him in any discomfort. Now, during the incident with the bus, another boy named Charlie Ronalds was hurt by Guido's flailing. Due to luck, Charlie survived with only a slight limp, and he would later become the villainous Sharon or Karen. Either one of those sounds bad. It's C-H-A-R-O-N. Charon? I don't know. I bet I bet this dude constantly goes up to people, like with his limp, and like he may be fighting a supervillain. Like, no, no, no. I want to speak to your supervisor. He's fighting the X-Men. He's like, no, no, no. Stop right now. I want to speak to Professor X. Because that's what he does. I don't know. I'm sorry. Alright. After losing much of his fortune, Guido begins to take on jobs that allow him to maintain his luxurious lifestyle. This leads to Guido becoming a longtime roadie and bouncer for the mutant musician Leela Cheney. He later finds Dazzler near Leela Cheney's Malibu house and helps rescue her from drowning. He then finds an injured Leela Cheney when she teleported back to Malibu and accompanies Cheney to seek help from the X-Men. Guido is later among the mutants living on Muir Island, who are mentally controlled by the telepath Shadow King. In order to satiate his bloodlust, the Shadow King encourages arena fighting against the Muir Island personnel. Guido receives a serious beating at the hands of Rogue, and after the Shadow King is defeated, several of Muir Island mutants, with the help of Val Cooper, are recruited to form a new X-Factor, which is a team of government operatives. Guido's teammates are Havoc, Polaris, Wolfsbane, and Quicksilver, and required to come up with a codename, Guido announces himself as Strong Guy. At an X-Factor press conference, after hearing a reporter say, "He must be the Strong Guy. Every supergroup has the Strong Guy." So he just embraced it, which is kind of awesome. Mr. Sinister manipulates Strong Guy into destroying the Washington Monument while fighting Slab. With X-Factor, he aids the American-supported Trans-Sibal government in a war against rebels and fights the Hulk, then clashes with the Mutant Liberation Front, and he also fights the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. During his time on the team, there's a blossoming relationship with a powerful Genosian mutant and political dissident named Jo Beth. Strong Guy suffers a deep depression after being poisoned by Cyber, the leader of a mercenary group, Hell's Bells. While at a government laboratory where a cure was developed, Havoc seemingly drinks a sample of the poison himself in order to show Strong Guy that he is with him. Okay, that's... alright, that's a little much, that's a little overdramatic, but okay, cool. Strong Guy later participates in the battle that defeats the Hell's Bells, though Cyber himself escapes after colliding with the subway train. Another subway train incident turns out much worse as Strong Guy investigates a train crash where a small dog was the only survivor. Inevitably, the carnage deeply affected his morale. Well, yeah, because he got hit by a bus, so if he's investigating people being hit by a subway train, it's very similar, I would imagine. I'm not a psychologist, but it doesn't seem like a big stretch. Alright, in the 1992 miniseries The Infinity War, Strong Guy participates in Earth's superheroes war against the Magus. He is specifically chosen to be one of the heroes to mystically travel the dimensions. He first participated in a fight with the alien Infinity Watch, holding up against such cosmic powerhouses as Drax the Destroyer. I bet that would be a cool fight to see. He later played a vital part in the final battle against the villain's doppelganger's hordes, though this was a distraction so other forces could go in and defeat the villain. Strong Guy is one of the many heroes sucked into the after effects of the Infinity War. He is one of the many free-thinking heroes who travel to an alternate Earth to regain their brainwashed friends and defeat the plans of the cosmic-powered goddess. He teams up with Firestar from the New Warriors, who is dispatched by the brainwashed duo of Puck and Spider-Man. Strong Guy defeats Spider-Man in battle. That's kind of like a good notch in your belt. Alright, Strong Guy's old friend, the cosmic teleporter Leela Cheney, shows up again and tries to persuade him to resume his former role as her roadie and bodyguard. He declines, explaining that he enjoys his life in X-Factor, where she reluctantly returns him. Strong Guy also develops a deep friendship with Wolfsbane. They go on a road trip with the Mutant Random, where Guido shows Renee, who is Wolfsbane, his hometown friends. Guido personally escorts Wolfsbane to Muir Island when she needs specific medical attention. His other best friend on the team, Multiple Man, seemingly perishes in an attempt to remove the legacy virus from his body. Strong Guy then remains a member of X-Force until an incident in the South Seas island nation of Madripoor. Again involved with Leela Cheney, the team becomes trapped in a confrontation between her and the alien race, the Kalanti. Leela had stolen an object of great value called the Harmonium during the midst of political chaos. The aliens, after destroying a city block, dispersed diamond-shaped bombs throughout the city. Despite the neutralization of the bombs and the return of their object, the aliens leave behind one last explosive. Guido absorbs the energy of its explosion, and despite releasing some of the energy with powerful punches, he suffers a powerful heart attack as a result. It was just too much energy his body absorbed at the time. Now, Strong Guy spends much time in suspended animation until the return of his seemingly dead friend, the Multiple Man, Jamie Madrox. Not fully understanding the situation, Madrox frees Guido, who continues to suffer. Forge creates a device to heal Guido, and afterwards, he chooses to accompany Leela and her band in their travels instead of rejoining the increasingly fractious X-Factor team. Then he becomes involved in a property dispute between warring alien races, both of whom wish to control a small, barren moon. This dispute is settled when the moon is destroyed during an exchange of weapons on both sides. See, this is why they can't have nice things. They fight over it, and when they try to resolve it, they end up destroying the whole thing. Now, Strong Guy is later seen in Tokyo as a member of a mutant fighting club called the Arena, in which the mutant fighters were being secretly enslaved by other mutants. He helped Storm and Callisto in taking down the enslavers. Strong Guy then moves to New York to become an enforcer for his friend Madrox's detective agency, X-Factor Investigations, on which this incarnation of the X-Factor series is centered. In doing so, he rejoins many of his former teammates from the previous government-sponsored incarnation of the X-Factor team, including Wolfsbane, Richter, Siren, and Monet at first. Strong Guy is assigned to protect a former employee of Singularity Investigations named Henry Buchanan. Henry has proof of the illegal activities of this former company, and however, Guido instead kills the man and then called Singularity CEO Damian Tripp, revealing he was working as a mole inside X-Factor the whole time. Strong Guy tries to tell the team that the man had vanished on him, but Wolfsbane smells his blood on Guido's hands, and a psychic scan by Monet reveals the truth. It seemed Guido had been subjected to hypnotic conditioning by Tripp to turn him into a mole, which explained his rougher attitude and some inconsistencies in his personality. A visit with Henry's widow did not go as expected. Instead of reacting angrily, Alex Buchanan understood the circumstances in which Guido had acted and forgave him. By the end of the issue, they had found solace together in their mutual grief from Henry's death. Now, sometime later, Valerie Cooper contacts Guido and offered him a job as sheriff of Mutant Town, which is a terrible name, but it's an affected area in New York where large amounts of former mutants live. Guido informs Jamie Madrox that he'll be taking the job, but changes his mind when Mutant Town is destroyed by the villain Arcade. Well, you can't change your mind when it's, after it's destroyed. That just means you didn't get to do your job. Whatever, dude. Alright, Guido dies while engaged in a job to protect J. Jonah Jameson from some superpowered assassins. He is shot through the heart, however the cause of death is from overtaxing his damaged organ by stopping a mandroid from falling into a crowd. He is rushed to the hospital, but the doctors are unable to save him due to the damage to his heart. A few minutes later, however, he miraculously revives, showing no injuries. And it's revealed that Layla Miller resurrected him. However, as a consequence of this, he no longer has a soul. Dang, dude. As a result, Guido begins acting more aggressive, and after a frustrating failed date with M, quits the group only to return during the Hell on Earth War, where he works for Mephisto against the other Hell Lords. By the end of the event, he murders Wolfsbane's son Tyr in order to become the Supreme Hell Lord. When the Thunderbolts were accidentally transported to Hell, Mephisto took the opportunity to give them a way out if they defeated Strong Guy. Red Hulk convinced Strong Guy to abandon the position of Hell Lord to try to regain his lost soul, which allowed Mephisto to regain the throne and let the Thunderbolts return to Earth. Excuse me. When Red Hulk offered Strong Guy to return with the Thunderbolt, Strong Guy states that he will stay behind until he can regain his soul. So, good news, he does return in Death of X along with other mutants helping the X-Men. And during the Secret Empire storyline, Strong Guy is seen amongst the inhabitants of the mutant nation of New Tian, following Hydra's takeover of the United States. And at some point, Strong Guy joins Magic's teams of New Mutants and is revealed to have his soul back with the help of Magic, who also reconciles with Renee after he apologizes for killing her son. While fighting with Tran Koi Man, I hope I said that correct, Strong Guy is able to take a hold of him, and Magic is forced to banish both of them to Limbo, where time passes differently. Magic is able to summon him back when he is attacked by her teammates, who are affected with the transmode virus and are controlled by an insane karma. However, despite only a few days passing in the real world, it had been years from Strong Guy's perspective. During the fight, he suffers from a heart attack again, although Techno-Organic Danny saves him by infecting him with the virus, and then he infects Magic with it. A still Techno-Organic Strong Guy is held captive by ONE, who have put him inside a Sentinel along with the rest of his teammates. He is rescued by Cyclops and Wolverine, and when duplicates of multiple men are blown up by ONE, Strong Guy saves everyone by absorbing the kinetic energy. However, it does prove to be fatal. Strong Guy is later seen on Krakoa, having been brought back to life just like so many other mutants. So, this dude cannot catch a break. Like, he does something and ends up, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a heart attack now. Alright, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna save everyone, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna do this, now my body is horribly disfigured from the impact. Like, I mean, it's crazy what they're doing. But, I've always liked his attitude. But let's get into his powers. Strong Guy possesses superhuman strength, which he can increase by absorbing kinetic energy and use it to enhance his physical strength to an unmeasured limit. However, he cannot store the energy he absorbs for very long. As a rule, he must physically expend the energy within 90 seconds to prevent it from permanently distorting his body. As a result of this, he is in constant pain from the existing distortion, and although he hides it well, traditionally playing the role of team comedian to distract himself, Guido also possesses superhuman stamina and durability. An unusual percentage of his body mass is stored in the upper half of his body, causing him to appear top-heavy and thus very imposing. Strong Guy's powers first appeared after being beaten by bullies and hit by a bus, and unable to expel the energy, his body was permanently warped. Strong Guy's maximum strength level is such that he has sufficient power to move the Blob or briefly stand toe-to-toe with the Hulk, although the latter's rage-enhanced strength was too powerful that the energy of channeling merely one blow put Strong Guy in danger of a heart attack afterwards. Guido is formidable in hand-to-hand combat in the style of street fighting. Guido has a gifted intellect and is a talented musical comedy actor and stand-up comedian. He has also earned a Bachelor of Arts in Drama from New York University. And he's also nearsighted and wears corrective bottle cap lenses. So that's crazy power, right? Like that's insane. So how would you beat someone like him? The only way to really beat him is to just constantly hit him. Like to keep that force coming, because otherwise he's gonna absorb it and hit you back. He's got a minute and a half, and in a fight that's a long time. So you've got to keep hitting him to where it just builds up too much energy, and apparently his heart's no good. Like his heart can't take but so much. So you got to overwhelm him. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Now, fun facts. In 2018, CBR.com, which is comicbookresources.com, ranked Strong Guy 8th in their Age of Apocalypse 30 Strongest Characters in Marvel Coolest Alternate World list, which is a very specific list because they kind of niched it down as much as possible. And Strong Guy also appears in the X-Men episode Cold Comfort. He is seen as a member of the X-Factor team led by Forge. And Strong Guy also makes a brief cameo during the 2-part episode Sanctuary. So he doesn't have a whole lot of experience. And, you know, I mean, visually, he's just this big guy. Like, he's just this big lumbering guy with little tiny legs. Like, he looks like he missed leg day, like, forever. I think I would be willing to guess that his inspiration was back in the 90s Saturday Night Live comedy sketches with like Chris Farley and Adam Sandler and stuff, when they're like, "What's your bench?" You know, and they're all these big bodybuilders, but they have these little tiny puppet legs. So when they get mad and they're like banging their arms and their little puppet legs are wiggling around. And I think that's where the inspiration came from. I could be wrong, but if I were to guess, that would be like around the time he came out, that was out, and it was really funny, and we're just gonna make this dude a comic book character. Like, we're gonna make the Chris Farley "What You Bench" guy a comic book character, and we're gonna roll with it. That's my thoughts. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? But I love the fact that his power, like, as he gets hit, he grows stronger, but he has to expel it, and it puts him in constant pain as a result. And that's crazy because I'm someone that has, I don't know, I don't know what living with constant pain feels like, because I would imagine that you get used to a certain level and that becomes the new normal. But if that's the new normal, then what is the extra pain like? You know, like, where's that threshold? Where does it end? And I don't know, and I can't really wrap my head around it. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment, like, subscribe, share it. Help me grow the channel. If I get up to 500 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway, which will be awesome. You guys can email me directly at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com, or you can catch me on Twitter or Instagram under superdeepdive, and I use the hashtag superherodeepdive. But yeah, let me know. But in the meantime, while you guys are thinking about it, let me get into my favorite part, and this is the power expansion set. This is where I go, and if you guys hear dogs barking in the background, I have crazy animals, so they're just barking at whatever. But anyways, going into the power expansions, this is where I go and say, does this character need a like an anime series, an animated series, a live action series, a movie? If we do, who are we casting? Do they need a comic book, like a storyline devoted to them? If so, what would be the plot? Like, who are they fighting? All that good stuff. And Strong Guy was interesting because I think he's got an amazing origin and power set. It screams something like a horror movie, though, to me. So I was like, so why not have a Strong Guy movie, but in kind of the horror theme? Imagine the grotesque scenes as he gets hit and his body grows abnormally, disproportionately. Like, it'd be crazy. And the thing is, with him, I don't even know who to cast, because it'd probably be heavy CGI and it'd be very reliant on those special effects. So, you know, like with the stuff going on in Hollywood regarding, you know, visual effects teams being overworked, you know, this is a plus, right? As my supervisor would say, this is just job security, which makes me roll my eyes. But, you know, there's a lot out there. So I don't know who to cast. Who would you cast? Or what would the story be? Like, I don't know who he would fight. I don't know what this would introduce. Like, I don't know what kind of set-off point it would be. I just love his backstory, and I think that visually it would be amazing to see on the screen. But I really scratched my head on this one, and I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. So let me know. Like I said, you can email me at b4itall@yahoo.com. You can, if you're watching on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, share. If you have any questions, critiques, requests for future episodes, let me know. I have a whole list and I'm working through them, so I definitely don't mind adding it to the list. But yeah, let me know. Like I said, you can always catch me on Twitter or Instagram as well. My DMs are always open because I don't know how to turn those off, and I really don't care how to turn them off. But that's under Super Deep Dive, and I use the hashtag superherodeepdive. But I think for now, I'm gonna head out. That's all I've really got. I'm anxious to hear what you guys think because I love having discussions with you all. Everyone gets acknowledged on YouTube. So let's have a discussion. Let's open it up. But in the meantime, guys, I hope everyone is blessed. I hope everyone's happy, and I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is smart. But if you're not smart, don't get caught. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.